Let's see if we're third time lucky. Going live with this live. I felt like it was an emergency reading. But then, I don't know, what's happened. Right, notification's gone out. I'll wait now to see whether or not I get the thumbs up with you can hear me. If not, then I'm not sure. Can you hear me? Yes, it's working now. It said that my UI is not working, and I just said close app. What's that about? Moon Cookie, Happy New Year, Eve to the channel of love. I thought I'd best make an appearance. I've been enjoying my my week in between off. It's been really nice. It's been nice spending time with myself. Anyway, let me read your comments. I felt this was an emergency reading. I don't know if you guys are picking up on the energy. It's a little concerning. That's just what I feel. This song, I'm going to read your comments, okay? This song is what I'll just have to backstep 10 seconds because I had played it to you, but I was drawn to listen to some music and then this song. This part now, okay. Not to be dramatic, but I want to die. And early on, I was getting through the energy of 13 reasons why. You might want to die. And then I was taken to I want to call it an incident that happened after my stepmom had made her transition. Now, she made her transition on the 1st of August, and then Simon made his transition on the transition on the 31st of August. So there was a month period between their transitions, should we say that? But after both of them have made their transitions, I would be able to speak to my dad about the other side. And because he said to me, does it sound silly, but I speak to her? And I said, no. So we're getting really deep discussions about it. Where was I going with this? Oh, but he told me, obviously he was alone and no longer had, his wife. But he hadn't given up. And he told me about this incident that happened when he was waiting at the bus stop. He said, and there was a guy there who was in his 30s, and my dad was late 80s, okay? And this bloke looked really, really down. And my dad said to him, hey, you look low. What's going on with you? And this bloke then went on to explain how he didn't want to live anymore and blah, blah, blah. My dad said, hey, come on, look, if I can do it, I've just lost my wife. And if I can do it. So he was going around uplifting people still. So that kind of memory come forward today. Yeah, it's been tough, hasn't it? The journey's tough. But I was even thinking myself, I could come up with many reasons why to kind of say goodbye. But I've never looked at that as being an option. It's yeah, life's been tough, but you just soldier on. That's how I feel. It's you just kind of pick yourself up and you muster through. Well, you can look back and look at all that you've been through. It's quite traumatizing. It's my husband lost half his face. Like some kind of zombie movie. And I do remember a point when it was hard caring for him because there was carers around, but they wouldn't turn up till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've got this man who's waking up at 7 and is wanting his dressings changed. So if I didn't change his dressings, he would just do it himself. And the nurses would say, we want to help you. And I'm like, you're not here early enough. Because they were just turning up. And it's like, he weren't taking his dressings off for anybody. So nobody was seeing the extent of what I was seeing. And the nurses would turn up and they say, can we have a look? And he's like, no, it's taken us a long time because there was layers and layers of dressings on his face. So I remember a point when it was like there was help there, but he didn't lose any of his faculties. He was fully with it the whole time, which is crazy to think that you would have thought, you know, it would have gone to his brain, but it did not. And he kept on soldiering on. It was like, geez, how long will this carry on going for? So there was a point I remember being in the bathtub and having like all my total, you know, head submerged apart from this area. And I remember looking up at the ceiling and thinking, oh my goodness, like, can I do this? And the answer straight away was, oh, Lucy, you've got a lot more in you than, you know, of course you are. So that was probably one point when it was like, I was like living a nightmare. My worst nightmare, my worst fear. And I recognised that it was my fear coming back because I couldn't even take our children to have an injection. I couldn't deal with pain, seeing anyone hurt. My children in pain, if there was an injury, I couldn't deal with blood. I had to. I had to face my fear like head on, and it was not pleasant. I said to the doctor, would I ever see anything like this again? And he said, only like, we would only see this in an act of like war, terrorism, like if a face was like half blown off and we would rebuild it. So yeah, the worst of the worst. Makes you strong. And you just, when you're going through it, you're just going through it. And then looking back at it, you think, geez, yeah, I can give you some reasons why, but we're not going there. So, okay, that's the energy I felt was, you might be going through hell. But what's on the other side is freedom. Now, why have I been called on for this emergency reading? What's going on? What card shall we use? Not to be dramatic, but I want to die. This bitch. Tell me about this bitch. Got me paying her rent, paying for trips. Diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist. And here I am all alone. I'm so cold, I'm so cold. You got me out here, smoking out the window. Okay, chill out, calm down. Take some time, especially these last couple of days. I don't know what cards we're going to use yet. I'm just, you know. Body feels a bit tense. Guys, how are you? Guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be reading Think and Grow Rich. I'm so excited because it's going to take our energy away from the topic of, I'm not going to say the topic of love, emotions, but this is like a business book. I read this book around about 2011, 12, and I have to say it's my most favourite book and the book that I think that everybody should read. And they suggest that it's taught in schools, and if it was taught in schools, then education, like time in the educational system, could be halved. More time for fun, creating. So, I want to be reading this, guys. This, guys. This, guys. This, guys. And we can take our time with it. The secret to freedom and success. I always thought to myself, it is my favourite book. And I've done talks on it. If this is like the key to success, you'd be crazy not to give it a read, wouldn't you? Napoleon Hill. And I love listening to his material. On YouTube, you can get up his teachings, and he does like little lessons. I just like his demeanour. Is that the right word? His demeanour. Let me just read, because I can see Alana put in, I felt really sad earlier today, but I gave myself permission to feel all of the things, and it passed. I was going to say, you passed. That was the test. I felt really sleepy today. It felt the run up to Christmas, like from the middle of November, it's just felt very focus driven. And I feel like I just want to have a bit of a break. I have done some delving into next year's energy. And I feel it's well, this was interesting because the other day I pulled some cards for myself and Emily was with me. And I was like, okay, what energy like is Lucy in or needs to be in? I can't remember like the question, and it come up with like the Emperor, and it's like, why do I need to be in like the Divine Masculine's energy? I was like really settling into the Divine Feminine's energy, or that's what I want to do. So I found that quite interesting, but I feel the Divine Masculine's energy, if I'm in the Divine Masculine's energy, then the Divine Masculines are in what energy? The Divine Feminine's energy. Oh, that's going to be hell. Do you remember what you've been through, Divine Feminine? It's going to be hell, but I like on a different level, because it's like you didn't deny the connection. So Divine Feminines, I feel there has to be a Divine Masculine energy emitting out there. So it was like the law of polarity was coming through. Anyway, so I've delved into next year's energy. The High Priestess just kept coming through, and the Empress energy, and all I was like told was, Divine Feminine, you've got to be the bigger person next year, because the cards were looking, the characters like the Empress and the High Priestess was looking extra. Well, it was the Empress that was looking big, like she has to be the bigger person. So whatever the Divine Masculine's going through, what he's going through is Divine Feminine's energy. I do feel Divine Feminines, as a Divine Feminine, you're going to be able to, there's not anything for you to do but be. Okay, so it's going to be good that we're going to be studying like a masculine's book, because Napoleon Hill like interviewed men, but it does state in the beginning part that the wish is for this to be taught to men and women. Okay, so that's what I'm feeling. And they're going to have to go through hell. As did you. Look, come out smiling. The energy of needing to tread carefully, because there's the journey of ascension, and then there's like the journey to destruction. It's about judging how much one can handle, as in truths. You don't really want to tip someone over the edge when they're like waking up, self-realization. They're self-actualizing. Does this make sense? So what I feel is, because I read personal development books first, because I was in a very masculine oriented environment, okay, goal-driven, goal boards, it was about having like a set income in mind. Well, the contents of this book, like I listened to daily, and it was in the car. And I'd have it on shuffle, so it wouldn't bore me listening to the same, and I would just have like segments. I was not on my spiritual journey then. Although I realise how much spirituality is mentioned in this book. So when I read this now, and like from my spiritual self, yeah, not so much my egotistical, I'm going to be a success and great at what I do, like in a business sense, my masculine side, that was the part that I developed first. Like a she-boss. And it's where I felt most comfortable, was like in a business dress, a black business dress, heels, and put me on stage. Happy as Larry. But I do remember the first time when I got into business, first time I was asked to do a testimonial. How did you get here? That kind of story. What's your story? And I would shit myself, like the fear of public speaking. So going through that journey, so helped me with my confidence, public speaking, working with masculine energy. So as we read this, I'm hoping that well, you'll find it fantastic. Let us, shall we start? I'm not even going to pull any cards, yeah? I don't need to, really. I pull cards as confirmation. I could sit here and just channel all day long. Tell you what I've been thinking and what I've been seeing. And I don't always tell you what I've been doing. Although, do I tell them this? I need to tell you this. That was my higher self saying, just tell them. Isis and Osiris and the energy of what she used to like bring him back to life. Sex energy. Self-expression. It's like be attentive with what you're doing. And when you're doing it. Yeah? Yeah. Think and grow rich. Okay, so here we go. The secret to freedom and success. I'm going to start with the author's. I always say preface, but I heard someone say it the other day as preface. No, it was different. I don't know how they said it. That's interesting. Okay, so you're going to excuse my mispronunciations, aren't you? Of course you are, because you're very loving, understanding people who might not actually be able to turn on the camera live and read from a book. You might find that nerve-wracking. Well, thank the Lord that I don't, but I do make mistakes because I'm only human after all. So don't put your blame on me. That's the energy, let me just say that, that's coming through is be the bigger person, divine feminine, because as the divine masculine's going through hell, you may feel him projecting a lot of blame on you. Okay? One day, he will thank you, but he may put the blame on you. But you'll be the bigger person. Okay. The author's preface. In every chapter of this book, mention has been made of the money-making secret which has made fortunes for more than 500 exceedingly wealthy men whom I have carefully analysed over a long period of years. The Secret was brought to my attention by Andrew Carnegie more than a quarter of a century ago. Now bear in mind, as a Q&A sticker, least favourite chore. I love the distractions. What's your least favourite chore? I try to take pleasure in all that I do. Chop wood, carry water, kind of thing. They're not chores. They're just pleasantries. They make living pleasant if you do these things. My least favourite chore. Jeez. Nope, can't think of one. Just crack on. Okay, let me read this. I'm not going to be distracted anymore. Let's have some coffee. Happy New Year to you. Secret to success. Happy New Year to you. Okay. The Secret was brought to my attention by Andrew Carnegie more than a quarter of a century ago. I was going to say this, I think this book was released like in 1920 something. The canny, lovable old Scotsman carelessly tossed it into my mind when I was but a boy. Then he sat back in his chair with a merry twinkle in his eyes and watched carefully to see if I had brains enough to understand the full significance of what he had said to me. When he saw that I had grasped the idea, he asked if I would be willing to spend 20 years or more preparing myself to take it to the world, to men and women who, without the Secret, might go through life as failures. I said I would, and with Mr. Carnegie's cooperation, I have kept my promise. This book contains the secret. After having been put to a practical test by thousands of people in almost every walk of life, it was Mr. Carnegie's idea that the magic formula, which gave him a stupendous fortune, ought to be placed within reach of people who do not have time to investigate how men make money. And it was his hope that I might test and demonstrate the soundness of the formula through the experience of men and women in every calling. He believed the formula should be taught in all public schools and colleges, and expressed the opinion that if it were properly taught, it would so revolutionise the entire educational system that the time spent in school could be reduced to less than half. His experience with Charles M. Schwab and other young men of Mr. Schwab's type convinced Mr. Carnegie that much of that which is taught in the schools is of no value whatsoever in connection with the business of earning a living or accumulating riches. He had arrived at this decision because he had taken into his business one young man after another, many of them with but little schooling, and by coaching them in the use of this formula, developed in them their leadership. Moreover, his coaching made fortunes for every one of them who followed his instructions. In the chapter on faith, you will read the astounding story of the organisation of the giant United States Steel Corporation as it was conceived and carried out by one of the young men through whom Mr. Carnegie proved that his formula will work for all who are ready for it. This single application of the secret by that young man, Charles M. Schwab, made him a huge fortune in both money and, capitalized, it says, opportunity. Roughly speaking, this particular application of the formula was worth $600 million. These facts, and they are facts well known to almost everyone who knew Mr. Carnegie, give you a fair idea of what the reading of this book may bring to you, provided you, capitalized, it says, provided you know what it is that you want. Even before it had undergone 20 years of practical testing, the secret was passed on to more than 100,000 men and women who have used it for their personal benefit, as Mr. Carnegie planned that they should. Some have made fortunes with it, others have used it successfully in creating harmony in their homes. A clergyman used it so effectively that it brought him an income of upwards of $75,000 a year. Arthur Nash, a Cincinnati tailor, used his near bankrupt business as a guinea pig on which to test the formula. The business came to life and made a fortune for its owners. It is still thriving, although Mr. Nash has gone. The experiment was so unique that newspapers and magazines gave it more than $1 million worth of laudatory publicity. The secret was passed on to Stuart Austin Weir of Dallas, Texas. He was ready for it. So ready that he gave up his profession and studied law. Did he succeed? That story is told too. I gave the secret to Jennings Randolph the day he graduated from college, and he has used it so successfully that he is now serving his third term as a member of Congress, with an excellent opportunity to keep on using it until it carries him to the White House. While serving as advertising manager of the LaSalle Extension University, when it was little more than a name, I had the privilege of seeing J.G. Chaplin, president of the university, use the formula so effectively that he has since made the LaSalle one of the great extension schools of the country. The secret to which I refer has been mentioned no fewer than 100 times throughout this book. It has not been directly named, for it seems to work more successfully when it is merely uncovered and left in sight, where those who are ready and searching for it may pick it up. That is why Mr. Carnegie tossed it to me so quietly without giving me its specific name. If you are ready to put it to use, you will recognize this secret at least once in every chapter. I wish I might feel privileged to tell you how you will know if you are ready, but that would deprive you of much of the benefit you will receive when you make the discovery in your own way. While this book was being written, my own son, who was then finishing the last year of his college work, picked up the manuscript of chapter 2, read it, and discovered the secret for himself. He used the information so effectively that he went directly into a responsible position at a beginning salary greater than the average man ever earns. His story has been briefly described in chapter 2. When you read it, perhaps you will dismiss any feeling you may have had at the beginning of the book that it promised too much. And 2, if you have ever been discouraged, if you have had difficulties to surmount, which took the very soul out of you, if you have tried and failed, if you were ever handicapped by illness or physical affliction, this story of my son's discovery and use of the Carnegie formula may prove to be the oasis in the desert of lost hope for which you have been searching. Can you hear the pussycats outside? We'll leave them out there to do their tomcat fighting. Like, I don't know, spraying their territory, whatever they do, the tomcats. They say that cats have like a route, their own route to take, and it's when they pass over into another cat that's like doing their route. They're having a right chat out there. I think it's like they're putting their penny's worth forward. Clearing the energy they are. It might be Simba. Like he may have come like for his dinner. All in chorus now. Can I finish this author's preface? It's quite a bit to go. Not too much. Okay. Now, whereabouts was I? The secret was extensively used by President Woodrow Wilson during the World War. It was passed on to every soldier who fought in the war, carefully wrapped in the training received before going to the front. President Wilson told me it was a strong factor in raising the funds needed for the war. More than 20 years ago, Honorable Manuel L. Quezon, then resident commissioner of the Philippine Islands, was inspired by the secret to gain freedom for his people. He has gained freedom for the Philippines and is the first president of the Free State. A peculiar thing about this secret is that those who once acquire it and use it find themselves literally swept up, doesn't say that, literally swept on to success with but little effort, and they never again submit to failure. If you doubt this, study the names of those who have used it wherever they have been mentioned. Check their records for yourself and be convinced. There is no such thing as something for nothing. The secret to which I refer cannot be had without a price, although the price is far less than its value. It cannot be had at any price by those who are not intentionally searching for it. It cannot be given away. It cannot be purchased for money for the reason that it comes in two parts. One part is already in possession of those who are ready for it. The secret serves equally well all who are ready for it. Education has nothing to do with it. Long before I was born, the secret had found its way into the possession of Thomas A. Edison, and he used it so intelligently that he became the world's leading inventor, although he had but 3 months of schooling. The secret was passed on to a business associate of Mr. Edison. He used it so effectively that although he was then making only $12,000 a year, he accumulated a great fortune and retired from active business while still a young man. You will find his story at the beginning of the first chapter. It should convince you that riches are not beyond your reach, that you can still be what you wish to be, that money, fame, recognition, and happiness can be had by all who are ready and determined to have their blessings. How do I know these things? You should have the answer before you finish this book. You may find it in the very first chapter or on the last page. While I was performing the 20-year task of research, which I had undertaken at Mr. Carnegie's request, I analysed hundreds of well-known men, many of whom admitted that they had accumulated their vast fortunes through the aid of the Carnegie secret. Among these men were Henry Ford, Theodore Roosevelt, Albert Hubbard, Wilbur Wright, Charles Schwab, John D. Rockefeller, Thomas A. Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, and several others. They represent but a small fraction of the hundreds of well-known Americans whose achievements, financially and otherwise, prove that those who understand and apply the Carnegie secret reach high stations in life. I have never known anyone who was inspired to use the secret who did not achieve noteworthy success in a chosen calling. I have never known any person to distinguish himself or to accumulate riches of any consequence without possession of the secret. From these two facts, I draw the conclusion that the secret is more important as a part of the knowledge essential for self-determination than any which one receives through what is popularly known as education. What is education anyway? This has been answered in full detail. As far as schooling is concerned, many of these men had very little. John Wanamaker once told me that what little schooling he had, he acquired in very much the same manner as a modern locomotive takes on water by scooping it up as it runs. Henry Ford never reached high school, let alone college. I'm not attempting to minimize the value of schooling, but I'm trying to express my earnest belief that those who master and apply the secret will reach high stations, accumulate riches, and bargain with life on their own terms, even if their schooling has been meagre. Somewhere, as you read, the secret to which I refer will jump from the page and stand boldly before you, if you are ready for it. When it appears, you will recognize it, whether you receive the sign in the first or the last chapter. Stop for a moment when it presents itself and turn down a glass, for that occasion will mark the most important turning point of your life. We pass now to chapter 1 and to the story of my very dear friend who has generously acknowledged having seen the mystic sign and whose business achievements are evidence enough that he turned down a glass. As you read his story and the others, remember that they deal with the important problems of life, such as all men experience. The problems arising from one's endeavour to earn a living, to find hope, courage, contentment, and peace of mind, to accumulate riches, and to enjoy freedom of body and spirit. Remember too, as you go through the book, that it deals with facts and not with fiction. Its purpose being to convey a great universal truth through which all who are ready may learn not only what to do, but also how to do it, and receive as well the needed stimulus to make a start. As a final word of preparation before you begin the first chapter, may I offer one brief suggestion which may provide a clue by which the Carnegie secret may be recognised. It is this: all achievements, all earned riches have their beginning in an idea. If you are ready for the secret, you already possess one half of it. Therefore, you will readily recognise the other half the moment it reaches your mind. Fucking fantastic, I'm telling you. Okay. I'll tell you the contents. Chapter 1, Introduction. Chapter 2, Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Chapter 3, Faith, visualization of and belief in attainment of desire. Chapter 4, Auto-suggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Chapter 5, specialized knowledge, personal experiences or observations. Chapter 6, imagination, the workshop of the mind. Chapter 7, organized planning, the crystallization of desire into action. Chapter 8, decision, the mastery of procrastination. Chapter 9, persistence. The sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Chapter 10, power of the mastermind, the driving force. Chapter 11, the mystery of sex transmutation. Chapter 12, the subconscious mind, the connecting link. Chapter 13, the brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Chapter 14, the sixth sense, the door to the temple of wisdom. Chapter 15, how to outwit the 6 ghosts of fear. That's it. Exciting stuff. I'm excited. I told you, I've never read the book like in book form. Listened to it hundreds of times, but reading the book, it's like reading a book and listening, or not listening, reading a book and watching a movie based on the book. It's not quite the same. And it's the same with the audio. The audio I listen to has Napoleon Hill speaking in it, so anyway. Exciting. I don't know how often we'll be reading. I'm not going to commit to nightly, daily commitments. As and when I feel drawn to. I feel good. You guys feel good? I feel good. I'm going to go and do myself some dinner now. I feel so much more perked up. I feel good. Okay, it's 10:30. I'm not feeling hungry though, which is fine. Fasting and all that. Oh my. If I can think about the things that I used to go through, like when I was going through my ascension, one of them was sickness. So I would be sick like every morning, but it would be like frothiness. And I noticed that when my children were going through their ascension, is that they would be, I haven't had that happen like in a long time now, but that was one of the signs. I felt that it was just interesting. If you find that you're going through that. What else have I been through? Obviously losing the concept of time, money. That one was an interesting, slightly worrying, what's going on kind of procedure to go through. The symptoms of ascension. Number synchronicities, most definitely. 1111, seeing 1111 a lot is a big sign. Signpost. You start to notice that songs talk to you, films, movies, whatever. Whatever kind of medium messages can use to get through, they will do. It will become natural. And I also found that when I tried to show somebody else what I was seeing, they wasn't able to see it. So I would watch the birds do like a magnificent display in the sky for me. And I'm like, girls, come and have a look at this. And then it would stop. And I'm, okay, it's like, it's not meant for you to see. But you kind of want others to see it because it's like, well, you want others to see what you're seeing. And you get some backup, you think you're not going crazy. Well, you're not going crazy. What's these cards called? Inner fucking peace. Namaste, bitches. Okay. So, this bitch got me. What's she got you doing? The divine in me honours the divine in you. Dang. The divine in me honours the divine in you. I feel that that's like you were going through the Ascension symptoms. And if you go to the doctor, well, you can go to the doctor if you want to. But this is like on your journey on realising you don't need a doctor, you can heal yourself, okay? You are a healer. I mean, you're spiritual, okay? And, well, you are a creator, so you're quite capable of healing yourself. So don't be surprised if, like, the doctor can't find anything wrong with you. And if they do find anything wrong with you, then the word itself, like, you're not at ease, are you? So try chilling out and then see if your condition changes. Shit happens. Like, shit happens. And inner peace is my bitch. There's a lot of bitching going on. Let sit happen to you. And acceptance, better watch out, I'm coming for it next. So this actually takes me to, like, if you are, I don't want to say poorly, I want to say under the weather. If you are under the weather, and like, I feel the energy of being like convalescent, is so that you slow the fuck down. If you wasn't doing it, and you didn't see the telltale signs that, like, you're burnt out, then you're going to be forced to slow down. Okay, so acceptance, better watch out. I'm coming for it next. The accepting that you just have to sit with yourself. There's quite a lot of people that find that really hard, is to sit with themselves. I've been sitting with myself like the last week. I think this is my first live since Christmas Eve. So it's like 5 days. It's really nice. It's like I don't need to be present for others. I need to be present for myself first. So, nope, double nope, hard nope. Choose the path of nope today. Nope, not doing that. Yeah, so be easy on yourself. Nope, nope, nope. And, something attracts your tribe. You're heading out. See you later, Alana. Bye, darling. Describe your vibe. It attracts your tribe. Bye, Alana, darling. I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day, Alana. The candle's making a funny noise. Well, it's crackling because it's a crackling candle. It's making like a... What's wrong with you? Cats have calmed down. Should we finish with a roomy message? I'm back to work tomorrow, just for the one day though. We get the New Year's Day off. And then, what day's New Year's Day? And then I've only got 2 days and then I get another day off. So it all works out quite nice, doesn't it? You're back to work tomorrow as well, Cynthia. Yeah. New Year's Eve. I'm not sure if I've got any plans for New Year. So I could have a house party. I said this to the kids because no one knows what they're doing or what they want to do. It's like, that's cool. And New Year's doesn't really start till like 8, 9, does it? 9 o'clock at night, New Year's Eve. So that's cool. I said I could have a party, a house party. Not that I have any friends outside of like my children. I said, but I could go to like local pub, you know, invites a few people round for a house party, and the kids are like, "You're not doing that, Mum." I said, "Oh, no, I'm not doing that. But I could have a house party if I wanted to. It's not the fact, you know, I can invite a few people that I know. I know some people. I could have a party on my own. I've even got like projector lights to have a party on my own. We like to party. So that went through my mind. Do I party on my own? We could do. We could have a party. I am only for the day. We have New Year's Day off. Yeah. And oh, you have the following day off as well? Very nice. I've been invited out for a few drinks. Wow. But I think I will stay home with Belle. Yeah. I might go out. Well, I think I am going out after work to have a drink. So I could stay out if I wanted to. I'd have to pop back to feed the pussycats, wouldn't I? Well, I don't know, because, I mean, I might have people coming round. The kids might come round. I don't know. We might spend it together. I really don't know what's going on. I could go over to their house if they're home. We really don't know what's going on. It's best that way. Spontaneous and all that. So I'm going to go for a drink after work. But normally I'm not out longer than 2 hours, and then I'm home. So I might go to bed at 11 and just skip it. But then the fireworks will wake me up. I've spent a lot of New Year's on my own. That's one thing I have spent on my own. When I was younger, I used to be the babysitter. So I remember many years like being asleep, or not being asleep, but having, you know, children that I was looking after, and everyone was out, obviously, New Year's. And yeah, my mum was like the chairperson for like a single parent group, so they all needed babysitters. And then just with living with my nephews at a young age, so like from the age of 11, I was looking after my nephews while my sister would go out and celebrate New Year. And then the millennium, maybe the first New Year that I could celebrate, well, I was heavily pregnant, and it was like the busiest New Year. And I so wanted to go out and just like celebrate, and I just had this great big ball. I was carrying this great big ball of beauty, and my millennium baby. She's going to be 26. Can't forget her age. I say to her, "How old are you going to be?" She's like, "Mum, what year is it?" Oh yeah, okay. So I didn't do that one either. And then it would just be parties at home, family parties for New Year's. So I've never been one for going out, celebrating New Year. I did plan to go to Edinburgh. Paid for it. 1 year. It was a year after Simon had made his transition, and I booked the torchlight procession through the through the streets, and then the night before New Year's Eve, and I booked accommodation under Edinburgh Castle, and I booked VIP tickets in the castle to celebrate New Year. So about a 3-day trip. I think it cost about £2,000. And it was myself and a friend and Emily. And the friend dropped out between Christmas and New Year, because I went away with this person for Christmas with her children, and it was like, okay, we'll go to Edinburgh for New Year, like as adults, and Emily was coming without young kids. She dropped out, and then Emily said she wasn't feeling too great, and I wasn't going on my own. I gave that trip away. Yeah, not done that. So close, so close. I so want to travel, like, and explore Scotland, but for some reason, just let me in. let me in. And I've researched so much, like the different places I want to go. But yeah, hey, somebody else got to experience that. Yeah, of course it will come. I'm very content and happy. So I'm not really like a New Year celebrator. It always goes through the mind. It can be a bit sad. Last year was a bit interesting because something happened last year, just before New Year struck. And before New Year struck was my daughter had her friends around, and the interaction between her friends, I was being the observer, and it's quite aggressive and violent. So they like be punching each other. These are feminines. And I was watching it happen. I didn't really like say anything. You just kind of observed the playfulness. It was like observing my nephews playing. Like the rough and tumble of our boys playing, get you in headlocks and things like that. It wasn't to that extent, but it was very like hitting, and we was outside and we were talking, or they were talking, I don't know, and just something happened and one of them slapped the other around the face. And I was like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And I got up, and the one that had been slapped, she stood up and she was acting like it was, I said, that's not okay. And I kissed her cheek and I said, your cheek is burning. And the other one was quite embarrassed, and she got up, joked around, left. And then they went into the house. Well, it did cause the one that got slapped to kind of respond to me a bit differently after I said, are you okay? Like, your cheek's burning. I said, that's not nice to do that. They could tell I wasn't impressed. And as she was kind of leaving to go back in, she like kind of turned on me, the one who had been smacked, and started like, I don't know, analyse my life. You know, I hope you're happy and you know how much you deserve so much. Like, she was saying this kind of stuff to me. And I thought, wow. So I didn't really go in the house to celebrate New Year. I was out in the garden and I just watched all the fireworks go off on my own. And no one came out to wish me Happy New Year. I mean, I've had a couple where, yeah, I don't get text messages, Happy New Year, or anything like that. There is no one to text me. So that's interesting. Why am I telling you this stuff? I don't feel sad about it. It just is. It's just the way that my experience has gone. So that happened last year. So if it's the wrong company, no, I'd rather be on my own. So it's, you know, watching people be drunk is just not really especially if like they're aggressive when they're drunk. Just ruins the whole thing. I think that's why I do 2 hours. I do 2 hours of partying, then I go. And then when I go, it's like the mischief starts to happen. I've noticed that. When I went away for Halloween, like we were home quite back to our accommodation, home. Wherever the heart is, it's home. Back to our accommodation. And then we'd hear these stories about how that venue was evacuated and that person got drugged and was found in bushes. And it was just, oh, wow. That wasn't the experience that I experienced. You create your own. You're the creator of your own experience. There you have it. And on that note, shall we get a message from... you believe that my necklace has a story? Yes. What's my story? It's an infinity sign. My daughter purchased it for me, and I have purchased her one. I've never worn a necklace like all the time. I did change it because my other daughter got me a necklace, but she understands that this necklace really I keep on all the time, so I rarely wear that one. I do have a new necklace, a Moldavite. I wore it for one day, overnight. The next morning, I had a headache, so I took it off, and I've got the message that it will transmit messages to me, and then I can take it off and deliver the messages and give my brain a bit of a break. Insane in the men's brain. Insane insane in the brain. Limitless love. Universal love, my necklace. So my daughter has one, but it's encased in a love heart. Her one is. And she keeps hers on all the time. So that's quite nice. That's my eldest, that's my millennium baby. Okay, so now I've told you that. I'm going to finish with a Rumi message. I think I got really excited then. Did I start speaking really fast? Whereabouts am I from? I'm from England. I'm originally from the southeast of England, but I live in the Midlands now, middle of the country now. I left the area where I was born and raised when I was 19. That's coming up for 30 years ago. Some things you just don't lose, like accents. Oh, you're an Essex boy. Mm. Do you say that quite proudly? Do you speak like an Essex boy? I've worked on my pronunciations a lot and continuously will do. When I kind of go back, no disrespect to you and where you were born and raised and your accent, but I'm not a lover of the accents, whether it's Cockney, Kent accent, depending about where I was raised near Dartford, so close to where you're from. Okay, the Medway Towns is where I was born, and not a lover of the accent. My children do not have it, and I will say, thank the Lord. I just felt the education was shockingly shite. I don't feel I was pulled up on mispronunciations. And so if I'm not, because put back in with the accent, then it just resurfaces. And it resurfaces when I'm excited or when I'm really comfortable. But I've worked at like retraining. It's the THs. That's the hardest one to get my mouth around. The word mother, father, I'm still not even sure of because we would say mother, father. There's no TH in there. And so I'm inspired by people that pronounce words correctly. And I don't have an issue asking them, can you say that again? And it's part of the learning process for me. You know, what's coming through is like, am I proud from where I come from? Not really. I love being British. I love this country. Oh, I want to go into a bit of, I vow to thee, my country, all earthly things above. This is really sad, hymn number 57. Entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love. I love that song. I vow to thee, my country. Oh, it's my daughter. Hey, baby. Good evening, Emily. Emily, happy early New Year and a late Merry Christmas. That's Cynthia saying that. Hello, darling. Do you know why I rang you last night? I missed you. That's the God's honest truth. I would say you're home tomorrow night, but it's New Year's Eve. So I'm assuming that you're not. Chevy, I had to jump off for a bit. About to make some hot chocolate, hot cocoa. That sounds good. I might do the same. I could have that instead of dinner, and it'd just fill me up a bit, won't it? I'm just not feeling hungry. Emily, you need to get home and help me eat all this delicious food I've gone and got. Emily, sorry, just had a spider incident. It's okay, did you deal with it okay? I don't know why you called. I just called to say I love you. I just called to say how much I care. I do. Yeah, that's why I called you. I was having a moment. Emily says, Happy New Year, everyone. Is it true that older people suffer from, don't know what that says. Don't know that word. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. That's it, Em. You know it, girl. You know it. I love my baby. Okay, you'll always be my baby. Thanks, Chevy. Em, I really need to make you a moderator. For one, I get to see when you pop up. Sweet thing. You're now a moderator for the channel. Okay, guys, let's get this reading wrapped up. Card number 31, commitment. Happy New Year from Milan. We went to Milan, didn't we, Emily? We had fun in Milan. Oh, let's not. Yippee! Oh my God. Yeah. And we had fun experience in Milan. We were talking about that not that long ago. Okay. It was, Emily had us stay in a hostel on our last evening. We always get up to mischief. Emily always gets me into mischief on our last night when we're travelling. Don't you, my darling? So that was really interesting, the Milan incident. Yeah. Let's have a look at this. We need to make a commitment, Emily, to do the bottom half of Italy. No, it's never on purpose, is it? No. It just seems to happen. Yeah. On the last evening, something happens. Happened in LA as well, didn't it? When Emily decides to lock me outside of out of our hotel room, and I've forgotten the door number, and I've got no ID on me, and it's like I can't really go around trying all these different locks at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so anyway, fire alarms. We seem to have fire alarms, don't we? You're a big girl now. You can handle it in the future. You can handle anything, darling. I know that. I have every bit of faith in you that you're good. You can handle life. You've had enough thrown at you. You've witnessed enough, girl. Big girl now. She's my big girl. She's my big girl. Emily took herself off to West End Stage School. No experience whatsoever. For the experience. And amen, Emily. Yes. And she turns up there and there's people that are like professional dancers and singers and, you know, they practice instruments. And why are you here, Emily? I've come along because it sounds like it'll be fun. Oh, I love her. Like a free spirit, but was born a free spirit. And the best thing with Emmy is you just leave her be. When she was younger, she used to climb up the back of the chairs and then get onto the bookshelf and she'd climb up the bookshelf. It was all sturdy, all right? It was fixed against the wall. And they would say, Lucy, get that child down. It's like, there's no controlling her. She was, you're absolutely fine, aren't you, Em? Absolutely fine. Okay. Just like to do you, don't you, darling? 31 commitments. Let's read this message. Always. Always and forever. Okay, we're going to finish with this message. Do you have anything you want to add, Emily, darling, before Mummy wraps this reading up? I got your sister's birthday present. So when I see you, I can show you what I've got her. I'm well prepared. Right. Okay, let's read this message. Let's have a look at the picture. The awakened heart is like a lantern. Keep it sheltered from the turbulence of the winds of desire. We are candles, lit by the one great flame. The breath of life does not extinguish us. On the contrary, it only serves our flame to blaze brighter. Here, in the temple of one love, there is no flickering or smoke to our flame. We are natural in our purpose, simply to bring the warmth and light of love to life. We dance, though we are stillness. We are on fire, though we do not burn. God bless, Emily. Have a good new year and peace out. They were my daughter's final words for this reading. Thank you, darling. I'll speak to you soon, honey. There is a flame that must be safeguarded. In truth, it can never be extinguished. It is the light that never goes out. Even with such enduring power, our recognition and respect of this flame is essential to human development. This flame is holy and lies within each human heart. When the flame is recognized for its worth, it ceases to flicker and smoke, becoming very still. In the stillness, the light can fulfill its destiny to shine brightly so as to reveal every path, absolutely clear and without wavering in the fluctuations of fear and attachment. Desire does not have to be a hindrance on the path. It can show us our passions and help us find our purpose. That's interesting, seeing as the first chapter is about having a burning desire. From Think and Grow Rich, that is. So desire does not have to be a hindrance on the path. It can show us our passions and help us find our purpose. However, the attachment that can come with desire, the belief that it can be sated only with one particular person, one set of circumstances, can cause us to stop looking at what the light is revealing to us, the way forward on our path in the here and now, and instead try to forcibly conjure the shadows to become what we imagine they should be. When we stop seeing life as it is, showing up for us every moment and engaging with it as it is, we can become careless with the light of the heart. Our huffing and puffing to force what does not need to be forced can cause the heart light to flicker and waver. This can make our way seem uncertain and doubts can crowd in upon us as the light is compromised in its purpose. We forget to trust in what is because we get caught up in attachment and fear surrounding our desires. Rather than letting life move us, we try to move life. There is a way forward on your life path that needs to be seen by you now. It will be helpful for you to have that clarity and that certainty. You might have already caught a glimpse of it, but be doubting your vision or yourself. This oracle comes as a reminder to you, don't doubt. What you are feeling deep within, the passionate love of your heart light, is true. It is real. You are being led into it by the progress of life itself. You must trust in this, even if it seems at times as though you are being led away from the vision. Life operates according to a genius that is beyond a linear approach. It is to be trusted rather than understood. There is enough challenge in the personal transformation being asked of you to simply take the steps. That is more than enough. You do not have to also create or control the terrain, nor determine the map for your journey. You simply need to take each step that presents itself to you in each moment. Don't let fear that your desire won't manifest cause you to try to bend life to your will. It is an unnecessary battle and one that will not serve your soul here. Instead, just show up, be present, attend to what is before you in each moment, and trust yourself. Let the light of your heart take you into serenity that will bring you the balm of a solid core of comfort, even whilst the world shifts and changes according to the workings of divine will. As you move along your life journey, step by step, that divine will is moving you to, shining one, into fulfillment of your destiny. Life is not working at cross purposes with you. Far from it. It is a co-conspirator with your heart. Come back to the stillness of the love within and know your heart light to be what it is, reliable and true, showing you the way even now in peace and stillness. Journey of love. I feel like finishing with some poetry. I was having a look at some courses today, like some courses I could take, but they're like online. I don't want to take an online course. I want to take like an evening course, and I did see some, but they were like tempting me, but they weren't for like the evenings. Bit disappointed, but yeah. Like a poetry course or, yeah, something like that. Cheers and big hugs. If we don't speak tomorrow, may the ringing in of 2026 be the biggest and best one yet. It was the best Christmas that I've had yet, this Christmas that's just passed. So I don't see why not, Cynthia darling. Sending you so much love, Lucy, and to the entire channel as well. Sending you so much love too, Cynthia darling. And Bear. I may be on tomorrow. Like I say, I'm not sure what's going to transpire. Interesting, because it was falling. It's like, I'm falling into you. Sherry says the same to you, Cynthia, and the whole tribe. Why am I singing? When two tribes go to war. We're not going to war. We're going to be the bigger person. We're just going to continue with our own personal developments, progression. We're going to mind our own business. Falling, and then we have the void. It's like that void. That space between Christmas and New Year. It's a funny week. Cheers, channel of lovers. Okay, 14, Temperance. Let's have a look and see what this painting's called. Sketch number 542. Sounds like a room number. Room number 542. Falling. Don't worry about a thing. Okay. Don't worry. You may fear you are falling, but it's just your soul diving deeper into the ocean of bliss. Are you sensing parts of your life flying away from you, out of your control, as the momentum of your divine surrender takes over and becomes more powerful than the old adhesive between you and what no longer serves? Laugh, cry, celebrate and ponder. Whether it makes sense or not, you are like a perfectly ripe fruit falling from the universal tree, succulent and ready to be enjoyed for all that you are. If you wait any longer, this moment will be lost and you'll end up on the ground, having to decay and go to seed in order to start the whole process again. This is not so bad, but what a shame if your sweet nectar was not to be savoured by a hungry world. You deserve to be declared the most delicious, juicy fruit that ever was. So fall, you'll end up exactly where you're meant to be. This oracle contains a message for you. You are being called closer into divine union and into the fulfillment of your destiny now. It's safe for you to trust what is happening. Go with it. It might seem like you're being asked to take a leap of faith. It's the right timing for that. It's your time to give yourself in love without holding back anything of yourself. The poem. Is it wrong to love? To feel what I hold inside? The answer must wait. The Void, 40. And this painting is called, and I'm going into song in my mind, and this painting is called Young at Heart. Young at Heart, a lustre of joy. Card number 40, lustre of joy. At the ending of every cycle and the beginning of every cycle, I want to say, like, at the ending of every year, and the beginning of every year, there is a moment of transition. It may last for any amount of time, a moment of feeling, or many years of deep inner work whilst feeling displaced. The transition may require patience to endure the absence of knowing, the lack of certainty about who you are and why you are here on this planet. A void may open up between one moment of meeting with your lover and the seemingly endless stretch of time, even if it is only days that seem as though they are eternal in duration as you wait to reconnect again. Yet, if you can accept that entry into the cosmic void as preparation for your next cycle of manifestation, if you can accept that darkness is holding you with love, not with unfeelingness, then you can relax and let the preparation be what it must be. Then you can be not sure what happened then. Okay, then my throat become really, I've got no coffee left. Okay, we're going to go and make some cocoa. Yes. Then you can be well equipped for the next step forward on your glorious divine adventure this lifetime, meeting the beloved, whether divine or human lover, in a fresh new moment, excited, open, and curious always. This oracle brings you guidance. There are parts of your own process unfolding that you simply cannot know about yet. It will not always be this way, but for now, it is most helpful for you to only deal with what is immediately before you. All else will be shown when the time is right. There is growing to be done, and then the void will bring forth the next step on your path to meet you. You do not have to worry, and you do not have to search. Be present, be patient. When you can do something, do it. When you cannot, just be. Your time will come soon. If you are holding a question about relationship, surrender it into the void and let it become what it must be, according to spiritual wisdom and love. Okay, let's finish with this poem. A coming together, a blending of one, where understanding spans the space between and separation disappears to form anew. A whole new world, that's where we'll be. A whole new world for you and me. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, take care, much love.